Alright, so this is going to be my video to describe the way that I manage trinkets during combat. Specifically for hunters, I try to swap my trinkets in combat if I'm using a trinket that has a cooldown, because after that use duration, it's kind of a useless slot. So I'll swap in a more passive trinket like this, um, so I can keep being benefited by trinkets during combat. So firstly, I use a mod called ItemRack. I believe that's the name of the mod. Um, it's a pretty great mod. You can get it using the Twitch interface. Um, this is my button to bring up the menus up here. It lets me build sets, which is pretty cool. But another cool thing is that it lets me um, sort of bring out any slot I want, I believe. Yeah, so if I want to try and change that slot more routinely, well, I can bring out a little icon for it. So the way that I do that is, and I believe this is a default functionality, is you can alt click an icon, and by default it's much smaller. You can go into the settings here, and I think in config you can change the button scale, and so by default it's more close to 1 probably, but I like it big and beefy. And you can also have them be separate, so they don't have to be next to each other. But I like to click them together like this, and then they're one unit. So that alt click within my normal item menu, that's what brings that up. And then you just drag them next to each other, and they'll let you link them. Another thing you can do is you can choose to hide a trinket. So if I don't want my carrot on a stick to be there, I'm going to alt click it while in the little menu for item rack, and it makes it go away. I believe I can then alt click the gray space and alt click the item again to have it show, because I do want my carrot to be available, but you may have seen my Strathome trinket. I don't necessarily use that often, so I don't want that to show up all the time. So these are the trinkets I like to swap often. Um, right now, we're running around finding elites to kill so I can get into combat, and I'll sort of move forward and show you what I do while I'm in combat. So, got my trinket here, everything's good. I'm going to use it now, and I have a keybind to do so. So there we go. The trinket is in use currently, and will be for another 17 seconds. Alright, so I'm going to go and queue the next trinket that I want, even though I'm in combat, and you'll see that it's notified or signified by being there in the little icon space. Since I'm a hunter, I can now feign death and take myself out of combat, thus switching that trinket. The add-on will swap your inventory whenever you leave combat. But anyway, that's how I queue my trinkets. And then when I leave combat, let's say I want this trinket to be queued, or want this trinket to be equipped. There it goes. I leave combat. It's equipped again. So I could have feigned again if the fight was longer, or if it called for that. Maybe I wanted that trinket to come back online. I could have done the same. What I used to do is I used to start fights with these two trinkets, and then I would use this one, swap to a more passive trinket, and then wait the 15 or 30 seconds for this one to unlock, and then use this again, swap to a different trinket, feign again. So I wanted to give a little bit more feedback, because I didn't mention it. So there's something you can do. So I'm in combat, clearly, and I wanted to swap a trinket, but let's say I accidentally didn't mean to choose that trinket. I can actually choose it again from the menu, and it will reverse that change. And then I can choose the correct trinket. Alright, that's pretty much it. Yeah, I mean, I think this is a useful add-on, obviously for any hunter, and I think it could be pretty useful for a rogue if they want to use their vanish to reset their trinket um, while they're resetting their threat. Seems like a pretty good combo. Um, so anyway, I hope this was helpful. Peace out.